city was never meant to drown. St. Petersburg built on rivers, canals, and history has always lived beside water. But on this day, the water did not stay beside the city. It came for it. The sky collapsed without warning. Clouds stacked low and heavy, sealing the horizon shut. Rain began to fall not gently, not steadily but violently, as if poured from above with intent. Within minutes, streets turned glossy, then black, then alive. Water surged through avenues once filled with traffic. Canals overflowed their stone edges. Drainage systems failed one by one, surrendering to a force moving faster than design, faster than prediction. Then came the sound, not thunder, but movement. A deep, roaring current rushed through the streets, dragging everything with it. Cars stalled, engines died, doors locked. What moments earlier were safe, ordinary vehicles became floating traps. Thousands of cars were caught. At first, they resisted, tires gripping asphalt, drivers pressing brakes in disbelief. Then the water reached the undercarriages, and resistance ended. Vehicles began to slide. Slowly at first, then suddenly, violently, metal scraped against metal. Glass shattered. Cars collided, stacked, spun, and vanished into the flood like debris in a nightmare.
Personnel were dispatched to flood-hit zones, to help with evacuation. Electricity and
Some were flipped sideways, others were pushed head-on, powerless, carried wherever the current decided. In seconds, order turned into chaos, and chaos turned into terror. Inside those vehicles, time fractured. Every second stretched. Every decision came too late or too early. Opening a door meant inviting the flood inside. Staying meant trusting a machine already defeated. The water showed no mercy. It swallowed parking lots, underground passages. Tunnels. It erased lanes, signs, and boundaries, turning the city into a single, relentless river. And hidden beneath the surface was an even greater threat: electricity. Power lines fell, substations flooded. Invisible currents charged the water itself. What looked like a shallow escape became lethal in an instant. Rescue teams struggled to move. Boats replaced ambulances. Sirens echoed through streets that no longer functioned as streets. St. Petersburg was no longer a city. It was a battlefield between human infrastructure and raw, unstoppable force. This was not just heavy rain. This was extreme weather, amplified by climate instability, geography, and timing. Too much water, too little time, too many lives caught in between. And the most terrifying truth of all: nothing here broke suddenly. Everything failed gradually, until it failed completely. The storm eventually weakened. The rain slowed. The water receded. But what remained was devastation. Wrecked vehicles piled like discarded toys. Streets layered in mud and debris. And a silence heavier than the storm itself. Because once you've seen a city drown, you never forget how fragile control truly is. Nature does not announce when it changes the rules. It simply does. And when it does, survival depends not on strength, but on awareness, timing, and humility. Remember this: if the water is moving, do not challenge it. If the level is rising, leave early. And if the city tells you to stop, listen, because film loading doesn't need hours. Sometimes, it only needs minutes.
Tôi thấy cái quầy súng cái hậu kiếm không?
娘的，去死！我操！多多安也去。站住！哦，让车的人，两个车。